Welcome
to Shamba Shape Up.
We have traveled all over East Africa to find hard-working farmers.
We want to celebrate them while giving them the knowledge they need,
so they can adapt and make their farms more productive even while the climate changes.
We want to support them to get better yields and increase their income.
We will see how farmers can benefit from our experts' advice
while learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences
on the Shamba Shape Up Safari.
Welcome to Shamba Shape Up.
This week we are in Kajiado County, the home to the Maasai.
Carol, do you know the origin of the word Kajiado?
I don't know. Where did it come from?
It comes from the word Olkeju-ado, which means the long river in the Ma language.
Finally, I get to learn something new from Tony.
Yes, astonishing how I know so much, isn't it? Sometimes I surprise myself. Let's go meet the farmer.
Let's go.
My name is Makui. In my case and my family, farming is a business. We do farming for profit. We do farming to pay our bills. We do farming to make use of the land we have. We do farming to get wealth from natural capital. We do farming to participate in conservation of our universe and feed the people in town.
We are visiting a Masai elder, Mr. Makui, who is working with other farmers in the community to adapt to climate change.
Makui is not only a family man, but also an elder who is involved in matters affecting his community. They have a large farm where they keep cows, grow maize and beans, and preserve pasture. Mr. Makui,
yes.
Very nice to meet you.
Happy to see you, Karibu.
Yes.
We understand you're a very, very busy man.
Yeah, I'm busy, but not so much busy.
Yes.
Yes.
Tell us what you do.
Well, I keep cattle. As you can see, I have Saiwal cows and I have some sheep as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Dopa sheep.
Yes.
I understand you're also a trainer.
Yes, I train farmers,
Yes.
particularly from far. I started from around 2009 after there was a drought. And we realized that you can't continue doing what you've been doing all through and expect different results.
Yes.
Yes, so I started then, but my community now is very well trained. They are versed with range management and keeping grass when they have a lot in good time.
And you are part of that change.
I am part of that change.
Well done, well done.
So Tony, today we are meeting an expert
Yes.
who is going to meet other experts,
experts.
and we get to learn.
Very interesting. You're going to learn from each other.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges you're facing?
We have a number of challenges. We have a challenge of sustaining livestock over a long period of time. We have a challenge of unpredictable and sometimes erratic rainfall.
Do you have a way of maybe catching this rain when it comes?
We have a water pan from which when it rains we collect the water, we use it. Yeah, so we try to collect what we have.
Nice.
Today it seems that we are going to learn from each other in different ways.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready, Caro?
I'm very ready.
Aha.
Yes.
So ready to learn.
Oh, yes. But before we begin work, we normally pitch the tent. So if you'll kindly allow us do that, and then we get to meet you later with our experts.
Yeah, please do. You're
All
most
right.
welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Makui.
Karibu.
See you later.
See you.
Okay.
All right.
Jesus. What?
Okay, see you
That's
when
a
you
serious
finish.
one.
Poleni sana.
Pastoralist communities are known for their movement in search of pasture for their livestock. This community is known for keeping livestock both for business and prestige. However, with climate change, things have not been easy for them and for farmers in general. Continued drought causing extreme heat resulting to less of pasture for the cattle. So, how are these farmers coping with climate change? We want to find out about the different effects brought about by climate change and how farmers are adapting. And that's why Victoria from the county government is here to share these changes.
Victoria, very nice to see you. This is our farmer, Mr. Makui, who is also an expert, just like you. And he advises farmers, just like you. So, Mr. Makui, what do you advise farmers, especially when it comes to pastures?
I advise them to keep pasture. They need pasture at hard times. Our farmers are pastoralists.
Yes.
They love big herds.
Yes.
Because there is security in big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you take care of such when you have a limited space, have limited rain, and predictable, so you have to manage like you are forever on a risk edge?
Wow.
Yes.
Because of the limited rains, we always like them maybe to be a bit sedentary so that they can be able to maximize on the production of their cows. If they move around very much, then they will cut down on the milk production. So that is why the advice for Mr. Makui is very important, to establish pasture and conserve for the dry seasons so that we don't move around.
So this moving around, Mr. Makui, how does it affect the production?
Moving livestock is definitely has a number of effects on the herd, on the pasture, on the people, and the economy. If I move my cattle, there is of course the cost of moving them. On the cost on my part to finance the moving, and on the cost of the cow to strain to go to where the grass is.
How is it expensive to migrate cows?
You pay the person who takes them there, or you pay the truck that ferries them to that place. That's a cost.
Yes.
Sometimes when cattle are moving, they reduce milk production because of the strain.
Uh-huh. And the milk quality, is it good? Is it good, Victoria?
Yeah, when they are moving, and the kind of pastures they are consuming when they are on the way, and then the heat stress during the movement, you find the quality of the milk has also gone down. It also affects the household income, because we know the woman is the one who is charged with milk. So when the animals move, she will not be able to have this milk, maybe to sell. So the movement will also compromise on the nutrition of the family if there is not enough food for the children to consume and the whole household.
Whoa, it's such a huge challenge, isn't it?
Sure.
So what is the main advice that you give to farmers, Victoria?
Pasture conservation.
Pasture conservation, how do they go about it?
We advise they do fencing so that there will be regeneration of the pastures, so that now when they harvest, they bale the hay, and then now they can store in the hay barns.
Mr. Makui, on our way here, I met a farmer who was saying that Mr. Makui is always having milk, even when it's dry. How do you do it?
We have a core herd here of about between 15 and 30 cows that lactate throughout here, and we have enough feed for them for a very long period of time. But we also have a strategy of moving when it's raining, so that this paddock is usually not for grazing.
So you have paddocked?
Yeah, we have paddock.
What is the importance of paddocking?
It helps you to manage the grass. You restrict animals from using this paddock, and it regenerates naturally. They actually refertilize as they graze.
That way of controlled grazing is a very good practice in rangelands.
Aha.
So, farmers, let's recap what options you have. Divide your farm into different sections. Let your livestock graze in one section as the other section regrows. And also harvest the grass during rainy season and make hay or silage. Only keep the number of cows that your land can handle and you can feed. Finally, get better breeds that can fetch more milk and quality meat, which will mean more money.
Long drought has brought many risks for livestock farmers. This has meant not enough pasture for their livestock, which forces some farmers to sell their cattle, and sometimes the livestock die because of high heat. 5 years ago, Makui's cattle died because they did not have enough food. And ever since, he has been making sure that this does not happen again. Let's hear what he does and how he managed to keep his livestock alive during the latest drought.
We have this napier grass,
Okay.
which is outside there. This is bean stalks.
Okay.
Yeah, and they are here. We have the maize stalks. Yeah, here. So these are our supplementary fodder. We cut, bale, and store for use during dry season as supplementary fodder. We actually get advice from some extension officers on the right moisture content to cut the grass, and we bale it.
Okay.
And so all that is required is just rainfall, and to let it stand and to remove the livestock from grazing from that paddock for a period of, during the rain season and at its almost drying point, so that they don't trample on it, so that you have maximum of it, and by the time you are cutting, some seeds fall onto the ground and reseed the land again.
Okay.
So whatever that comes out as residue from our harvest, we store it for our use during the time of scarcity.
Well, that's very clever. At least our cattle are not going to go hungry.
Yes.
So these ones have been here for how long?
Well, the grass we cut in 2019. 2020, we didn't cut hay. There was not enough rainfall, and the store was full. But 2021, we had no rain. We didn't have enough rain. We used a lot of our hay to feed our livestock from August to November last year.
So these have been here for quite some time.
Yeah, this is supposed to be the third year when it's stored. Sometimes they last up to 6 years. And as long as you protect it from sunlight, you protect it from rain, you protect it from termites, then you are okay. We are sitting actually on a suspended floor, but very basic. We just use the poles, as you can see from the truss, and some of the timbers we cut from within our farm.
All right. When is the right time to make the hay?
You cut it when it doesn't collect dew from the environment in the morning. You know, when the grass is very wet and the moisture content is high, and you cut it, it will rot. So most often, because of that to avoid that kind of rotting, because sometimes it can increase levels of aflatoxin, we lay it on the ground for 2-3 days, then you bale it.
Other than hay, what else does Mr. Makui feed his livestock?
We also do some other supplementation, like making our own feed. When it dries very much and the range is extremely dry and the quality of grass is very low, we use what is called urea. Urea is poisonous if you overuse it. So we look at the internet, we see the quantities that are needed per ton, and we buy the raw materials. We take it to Kitengela, to one of the people who have the equipment. They do the mixing that we have designed. We take, this is the amount of urea you are going to mix with this amount of rice polish or maize jam, and also sunflower cake. The urea will help increase the digestibility of rough hay. Sometimes some of this hay has overgrown, and you can see some of it is stalk. It becomes almost like timber, lignin. But because we use the urea, we increase its digestibility, and in the process, the system of the cow can generate protein that supplements its natural feed.
Remember, as Mr. Makui said, urea can be poisonous if not used properly. Therefore, consult an expert or get in touch with Shamba.
So, Mr. Makui, what would be your parting shot to our farmers?
Because of the challenges of climate change, cut, bale, and store hay for use during dry season is something that has to be part and parcel of farm activities every time, all the time and always. Because the erratic nature of rainfall patterns, you don't know how long you will go between rainfalls. It's like just food. If your stores are full, you're always more comfortable. And then again, it protects you from price fluctuations when there is lack outside. You know, if you plan it well, every blade of grass, you stretch it to the maximum.
See you after the break.
Welcome back.
To Shamba Shape Up.
We are in Kajiado County and we are visiting Makui, a farmer who is helping other farmers.
We have seen how high heat has brought down milk production and how to make a good and healthy fodder mix.
We also want to find out how to harvest rainwater and how solar pump can help save money.
No time to waste.
Let's get back to work, Carol.
With unexpected weather changes, every drop of water counts. When it rains, no matter how little, the water should be captured and stored for later use. Let's find out how Makui has been dealing with water shortage. I've invited Lawrence from Plant Village to help us know more about rainwater harvesting and conservation.
Maybe, Lawrence, you can begin by telling us what is climate change.
Okay, climate change is the change in weather patterns and also temperatures in the atmosphere. Sometimes it can be high or low. Yes.
And how does it affect us?
It affects us because it interferes with so many activities, especially farming activities. Because you'll see, as a farmer, if you are expected to plant maybe in the mid-March, you'll have to wait rains for maybe more than 1 month extra. Like you'll plant mid-April. Then you'll find that we have food shortage for more than 3-4 weeks that we had not planned for. Yes.
So it has a lot of impact in the way we live.
Yes, yes.
All right. So, Mr. Makui, we've seen what climate change has done, and it's brought a lot of disaster.
Sure.
Has it brought any disaster in your Shamba?
Yeah, we've lost cattle here in 2017 and years before.
Yes.
And even now we are under serious drought. We've not yet received the long rains, and it's usually supposed to be a very wet season.
So when was the last time there was rainfall here?
I think last year, April, but it was not the moderate rain we always expect. Yeah.
It was just passing by.
Yeah.
All right, so it was not enough.
It wasn't.
So according to you, climate change has brought a lot of issues.
Sure.
All right. What are also some of the ways you're using to mitigate this climate change?
We do hay, we cut grass and bale it and store it. We've also now improved in our supplementation during dry seasons. We now use sunflower cake. We have a pan down there, so when there is rain, we collect water and we stop using a borehole. We have a borehole that uses solar energy, and we always try the best possible not to use the borehole water as much as practical. So when we have enough for livestock, we collect rainwater with our water tanks, as you see. We have about 6 in this home, and we want to have more because we don't know the time it takes to replenish extracted water from underground.
All right. Lawrence,
Yes.
what other steps can farmers take?
Farmers, they need to take another step of conservation agriculture. As a farmer, you need first to mulch your crops. We need to plant crops that are drought resistant. We can do legumes. Some legumes are a bit drought resistant. We need to have water harvesting, but we need to train farmers on how to harvest water in a proper way.
Conservation agriculture practices like mulching and minimum tillage can be used to retain moisture in the soil.
You said that there has to be a special law of collecting water. I think people just put gutters and when it rains, water just goes into the tank. Is there any other special way of doing it?
For you to put your gutters, you need to have a clear structure, a good structure at least to make sure that the lining is good and so that it's able to collect good water. So we need to have the good lining of gutters to make sure you collect the little water that this roof harvests so that we can have the water for our animals and for domestic purposes.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Makui has gutters on one of his roofs, and so the Shamba Shape Up team decided to put gutters on the remaining roof. This way, he can harvest every drop of rainwater.
Water is a very scarce commodity, and it's actually very important. You can't run a farm without water. Most often, when it rains, we have a lot of runoff. If you are able to keep it within your farm longer, the better for you. But the better for your soils, the better for your everything. So, water conservation is key. Every farmer must do their best to lay infrastructure to collect rain water.
Hello and welcome to the Shamba Shape Up Farming News for Kenya. In the coming week, most of the country will still be dry. As can be seen on our map, Northeastern, Upper Eastern and Lower Eastern, including southern parts of Kenya, will see no or very little rain of less than 5 millimeters. From Marsabit, Mandera, Wajir, Garissa, Isiolo, Meru, Tharaka, Embu, Machakos, Kitui, Makueni and Kajiado. Most parts of the coastal region will get little rain of about 15 millimeters. This includes Tana River, Lamu, Taita Taveta and Mombasa. However, some parts of Kwale and Kilifi may receive up to 25 millimeters of rain. Central Kenya expects little to moderate rain ranging from 5 to 50 millimeters. This includes Nyeri, Murang'a and Kirinyaga. Some parts like Nyandarua and its environs will have up to 50 millimeters of rainfall. Nairobi will have no or very little rain of less than 5 millimeters. The Rift Valley will get little to moderate rainfall ranging from 5 to 75 millimeters. Sections of Turkana, West Pokot, Baringo, Trans Nzoia, Nandi, Nakuru, Bomet and Narok will get up to 50 millimeters. The western region will receive high amount of rainfall ranging from 15 to 75 millimeters. This includes Bungoma, Busia, Kakamega and Vihiga. Some parts of Kakamega will get up to 75 millimeters of rains. Nyanza region will see moderate rainfall ranging from 15 to 50 millimeters in this coming week. This includes Siaya, Kisumu, Homa Bay, Migori, Kisii and Nyamira. Farmers, if you have harvested or plan to harvest, clean and dry your grains well to avoid aflatoxins. Once dried, store them in hermetic bags as they have 3 layers that do not let air in and they hence suffocate and kill storage pests. If your area is receiving some rain, harvest the water so as to use it when it gets dry. Keep mulching your farm to retain water in the soil and remove weeds to stop competition. This is the best time to harvest fodder and store them as hay or silage if you have them in your farm. For more farming news and tips, get in touch with iShamba on 0711 082 606. I am Brenda. See you next week on the Shamba Shape Up Farming News for Kenya.
Aha! Kamau has already finished fixing the gutters and they look amazing. That means Mr. Makui will have more water for his livestock during the rainy season.
This is extraordinarily good. Thank you very much.
All right.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. It's going to help us a lot. In fact, when we spray our livestock, we'll be getting water nearer here and even for the young lambs.
So continue doing the good work.
Thank you.
And we wish you absolutely well.
So you now have a student in me.
Yes.
A student, I'll be checking on your iShamba.
iShamba.
I'll be looking at it
Yes.
and visiting the site most often.
Thank you very much.
Asante.
All right.
Okay.
Mr. Makui,
Yes.
very nice to find you here.
Happy to see you too. Thank you. Karibu.
Yes, I see you have some water, lots of it.
Uh-huh.
So how are you managing to have lots of water with the climate changing, especially in these areas?
Here we do a lot of things. For example, we collect a lot of rain roof runoff and we put it in water tanks so that we can use during the dry season.
Yes.
We also have a water pan and we also use solar to pump water. So the more you utilize natural sources of energy,
Yes.
the better for everyone.
So you've been spreading the word around?
Yes, I have so many of my neighbors. In fact, most of the homes around here use solar for powering. Even though we have electricity, we use a lot of solar. It is more friendly to the environment.
Makui, being the trusted mentor to others here, advises neighbor John to replace his diesel pump with a solar pump. Makui has asked me to see what's happening on John's farm. Oh, Davies and Shortleaf team is already here working. They don't waste time. Davies and Shortleaf have different kind of pumps to suit the size of your farm and the kind of crops you wish to grow. Get in touch with iShamba for more details. Now that the solar pump has been installed, John and Eunice can install the drip irrigation so that they can farm their vegetables even off-season.
John and Eunice, very nice to be here with you. And Brian, of course.
Nice to meet you.
John, what are the challenges have you been having with your pumps?
Using this diesel-powered generator, it has a lot of problems, especially when it comes first with the running cost. We have to buy the diesel. Sometimes there's no cash. When there's no cash, we don't get the water.
Yes.
The water. Another problem sometimes when you use these diesel machines, sometimes there is a lot of breakdown. Means that day we don't have water. So it has a lot of problems.
Yes. And right now, as we stand here, there's something happening behind us.
Yes.
What is happening, Eunice?
You're getting water.
And he's so quiet, is it?
Yes.
Was it usually like that before?
No. When we pump water using these generators, there's a lot of noise, air pollution. But you can see right now the water is just flowing freely without noise.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
I can see Eunice is smiling and very happy about that. So, Brian, thank you. Thank you for what you have done to our farmers. So, when you listen to the challenges that our farmer had, compare them now with the pump that you've brought to them.
John and Eunice do not have to spend any more money buying diesel to repair, to power their pump. They will not be having a lot of noise in the compound. They will also not be having to have frequent repairs of pumps, because the diesel pumps normally break down.
How many sizes does it come with?
Of course, at Davis and Shatliff, we believe in offering solutions, not just offering a single product. So we design something that works for them. John's solution here was designed based on our, coming down to site and seeing what's happening. And so if it was a different farmer, they would get maybe a bigger pump that pumps to a bigger tank. Another farmer that just has a shallower well can get a smaller version that is only fits their use at that given point.
Wow. So, John, how are you going to use the water that you have now?
Wow. I'm going to make a lot of use of it. There are quite a number of crops in my farm. I'm going to add more crops, fruits, vegetables, beans, and get more production in my farm. Also, in the usage of my cattle, they're going to get plenty of water now.
How about you, Eunice?
I'm going to use it very well, planting my seeds, like onions, oranges.
Wow. You are just waiting for the water.
Yes.
So, any question disturbing you right now that you can ask our expert?
Brian, what happens in case there is a lot of clouds, the sun is a bit low? Does it mean we are not going to have a lot of water?
When we design these solutions, we know that there's a time, we design them based on the sunshine hours of the day. Mm-hmm. So sometimes it can go low, sometimes it can go high. Yes. But we design in such a way that even with very little sunshine, you will not run dry. You can at least get some water. Okay. Yes.
So, with the energy from the sun, John and Eunice don't have to spend money on diesel. And with a warranty in place, they can have some peace of mind.
Farming is good. If you have space and the passion, it pays to be a farmer, particularly if you put effort in what you are doing. You keep improving until you find a balance between income and your labor and investment. So farming is good.
We'll see you next time on Shamba Shape Up.